Thank you so much for asking this question, and I thought that doing up a video will be a lot easier to explain rather than in text. And I'll also be going through what we commonly would get as a proof of ownership of the client, so that when you guys are pass your exams and you join us, there'll be one lesser thing to teach you guys. Yeah, so let me just run through on this question whether what is the state limitation on the land ownership are recorded as in the certificate of title. So this is actually the in-list, as you can see. What I'm going to be explaining will be what's required when you are getting the in-list page. So on the in-list page, there's these two things that's going to be important: POI and PTI. POI is just requiring myself to find out what's the ownership details, their IC number, their name, whether are they the real owner of the property. There's another cheaper way to buy the title, but then I will not have the IC number. That is through the annual value of the property. I will go and buy the PTI, property title information, if there are information that I would really want to find out before I even conclude a purchase or conclude a deal. And it's $16. This will actually give you a lot more information, which I'll be running through in this video recording. Okay, so the manner of holding, this information itself will actually appear in both the POI, which is the property ownership information, and also the PTI, property title information. So you can see under the estate and land description, okay, this will let you know a few things. One, what is the land tenure? Is it a freehold? Is it a triple 9-year leasehold? Is it a 99-year leasehold? All this will be stated in this para. Two, what is the ownership and the manner of holding? The manner of holding in this case for this property is actually tenants in common in unequal share. So you can see that the first owner actually own 1/3 share and the second owner actually own 2/3 share. So it is tenant in common in unequal share. If you have someone who is 50-50, or you will see tenants in common in equal share, then the share will show that, let's say 1/2, which is half, or there may even be 6 people all owning the property at the same time, 1/6 each. So there's a possibility of that as well. So this is where the share, you will be able to see what is the shareholding for each party. In a leasehold estate, this is what you're going to be shown. Okay, it's a leasehold estate. When is the lease duration? When does it commence? When is the title expected to expire as well? Okay, this in this case itself is a joint tenant. Then it will just be shown as joint tenant. Joint tenant is assumed to be equal share for all the owners that is being listed in this property title. So the next one is where there's a lot of questions asking what is a restrictive covenant? Why is it not restrictive covenant being the answer to it? Restrictive covenant, you can see under this interest/encumbrances. This is only shown in the property title information. Okay, under number 1, you'll see benefit of easement. Number 2, party wall rights over whichever is the mungkin lot number. Number 3, again, party wall rights. And then number 4 is the restriction that you will see I/5782B. Subject to restrictive covenant, you can withdraw and get more information of this restrictive covenant by buying the information again of SLA. Okay, so there's a restrictive covenant, and restrictive covenant is actually under interest and encumbrances. So it doesn't show all the information required. And in this, you will also get to see easements will also be shown in the title search, and it will shown as an interest or encumbrance. Okay, so if there's any easements, it will be shown here. And of course, we have our easement king, Mr. Billy Ng. If you have any questions regarding easement, you can ask Billy, one of our core trainer for the RES revision. So this is where I mentioned, or rather I've checked out this mungkin lot number MK5-02875X. This is the registration of the easement. Okay, then you will show this is actually a landed property, and the landed property will require an easement to the main road. This MK05-02875X actually belongs to the state. This is a mungkin lot requirement that there will be an easement over the main road. If not, then how is the owner going to be able to get out of the house? All right. So restrictive covenants and easements will all be shown under interest/encumbrances. And there's actually a third one, which is mortgage or charges, if any. So in this title, okay, so I've shown you probably 3 to 4 titles all accumulated into this one presentation. You will realize, okay, under this segment, caveator is actually United Overseas Bank. So we actually took a loan from UOB. Okay, so interest claim is as a mortgagee or chargee. Okay, so this is the caveator. The caveator will lodge a caveat on the property. Even for CPF, you can see the charger is actually the owner of the property. The chargee is CPF board. So these are actually the two different types of security interest that we can have on the title itself. Okay, only banks or funds, okay, CPF funds. Okay, so now we need to go back to the basic. What is a caveat? Okay, I've given you the two sources on understanding caveat and also to understand land law. Okay, you can go in to read more, but basic understanding is that a caveat is legal document lodged with the Singapore Land Authority by a person with an interest in property or land. Okay, whoever lodged the caveat is known as a caveator, like what we've seen just now. Caveator is the person who lodged a caveat, like a United Overseas Bank, or even for the property itself, the buyer is a caveator, and the caveatee is actually the owner of the property, which is a subject of the caveat. Some interest in land that you can actually register, lease of more than 7 years, licenses, depending on the intent of it, easements, and restrictive covenants. All of them require a registration of a caveat. So a caveat is a registration, and this caveat will mean that every single thing that you want to register will be found as a caveat. Okay, for them to be fully enforceable. If not registered, then it's subject to contest in court. And then the two types of security instrument provided by the Land Titles Act will be mortgage and the charge. Both are to be in the prescribed form to be registerable, and then failure to register will not be fully effected, and that's the reason why the bank will always lodge a caveat on your property. The CPF board will always lodge a caveat on your property in the event that you're using CPF for the property purchase. And therefore, the state limitation on the land ownership are recorded as caveats in the certificate of title. So whatever type of caveats will be a form of whether is it interest in land, lease, license, easements or restrictive covenants, and then for security interest that can be registered will be the banks and charges for, but let's say CPF board. Okay, so that will be the state limitation, and I hope that this short and quick explanation will allow you to have a better understanding of what is a registration of title. And I'll see you guys for the next rehearsal. Sorry, not rehearsal. Test revision. Yeah, thank you.